Hello students. After the concept of acid-base titration, let us look into the application of acid-base titration. Here we will see two examples, assay of nicotinic acid and chalk. Coming to the first one, determination of nicotinic acid. What is nicotinic acid? It falls into the group of B complex vitamin. To be more precise, nicotinic acid is B3 vitamin. So it would be a source or rather it could be a supplement for vitamin B3. Looking into the assay of nicotinic acid is titrated against NaOH, okay, being acid. It is titrated against standard solution of NaOH using phenolphthalein as an indicator. Let's look into the reaction. This is a structure of nicotinic acid. So nicotinic acid has a carboxylic group. Now during the titration, it is going to react with NaOH and form sodium nicotinate plus water. So from the reaction, it is clear that one nicotinic acid is going to react with one NaOH. Okay, so the stoichiometric ratio is 1:1. In the titration, when we talk about the titration of nicotinic acid with NaOH, let's look into what are the titrant or what would be called as the analyte, etc. So coming to the titrant here is standard solution of NaOH. Okay, so according to the IP method, the method given in IP, NaOH of 0.1 normal solution is used. The analyte being nicotinic acid. The indicator according to the IP or the method given in IP says phenol red. We can also use phenolphthalein as an indicator. Molecular weight of nicotinic acid is 123 gram per mole. This would be required for factor calculation. Okay, so these would be when you're writing about an assay of nicotinic acid, you should know all these information, that is what would be the titrant used, what is your analyte, what is the indicator that is used, and the color change. Okay, so when you're using phenolphthalein, the color change would be colorless to pink because we are moving from an acidic pH to basic pH. Coming to the factor calculation. So principle is very simple. It's a simple direct titration of nicotinic acid, that is an acid which is titrated against or which is reacting with a base, that is NaOH. Okay. So from the reaction, the stoichiometric ratio, we know that it is 1:1. So what does a factor mean, or what is the factor of a titration? It tells you, or it is it would be talking about what would be the amount of analyte which is going to react with 1 ml of the titrant that was used. Okay, so in this case, our factor would look like 1 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH solution would be equivalent or would be reacting with how many grams of nicotinic acid. Okay, because from the previous slide, it is clear that the NaOH that is used is of 0.1 normal strength. Okay, and as I mentioned, the factor would be 1 ml of the titrant that was used would be reacting with how many grams of the analyte. Analyte here being nicotinic acid. So let's start with the factor calculation. How do we start? We will write the titrant. So this is NaOH, which is going to react with nicotinic acid. Write down the stoichiometric ratio also. So this is 1:1 in this case. So let's begin. If I say 1 mole reacts with 1 mole of nicotinic acid, I would talk, or I can write it in this molarity analog, that is 1000 ml of 1 molar NaOH would be equivalent to that 1 molar nicotinic acid. So instead of writing 1 molar solution or 1000 ml of 1 molar nicotinic acid, which would be containing molecular weight of nicotinic acid, I will directly write molecular weight of nicotinic acid. So what I'm writing initially, I'm writing the what would be the volume or 1000 ml of 1 molar NaOH or the titrant would be equivalent to so and so gram of nicotinic acid, and that so and so would be nothing but the molecular weight, because we're talking about or talking in the terms of molarity. Okay, so first statement would be that, and then next we can say that since we have used normal solution, okay, and in this case NaOH, for NaOH the molarity and normality is same, so I will repeat the same statement, but now in this case I will write, instead of 1 molar I will write it as 1 normal solution of NaOH would again be equivalent to 123 gram of nicotinic acid. Okay, what is the normality that was used for the titration? It is 0.1 normal solution. So let's find out for 1000 ml or 1000 ml of 0.1 normal NaOH would be equivalent to, okay, here you're dividing by 10, so same on the right hand side, so now it be the 123 gram now becomes 12.3 gram of nicotinic acid. And finally, when we have to find out what would be 1 ml of the titrant equivalent to, just divide both the sides with 1000, you get the factor for the assay of nicotinic acid. Okay, mind you, when we are carrying out the assay, first thing would be standardization of NaOH. So what we do carry out first would be, we do the standardization of 0.1 normal NaOH and we find out the corrected normality. And once you've calculated the factor, the next step would be find out or correct the factor also, depending upon what is the corrected normality that you get from standardization. Okay, and then you can go ahead with the calculation. So whatever burette reading that you get from the titration, you're going to put in the factor calculation and go ahead and find out what is the percentage of nicotinic acid in the given sample. So that is about assay of nicotinic acid. Okay, a direct titration where the where nicotinic acid is directly titrated, or rather solubilized first in carbon dioxide free water and then titrated against standard solution of NaOH, okay, using a suitable indicator, which could be phenolphthalein or phenol red. Okay, so then we have the next example, that is an example of indirect titration. So let's take the example of chalk, which is nothing but calcium carbonate. Okay, so now this is an example of indirect titration where direct titration of chalk or calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is what? It's a base. So if we have to titrate or determine a base, we would require an acid. But here in this case, chalk or calcium carbonate being insoluble base, we won't be able to carry out a direct titration, because what we want or the reaction should happen in a homogeneous system. So the analyte also should be soluble in the solvent that is used. So here in this case, calcium carbonate being insoluble base, we won't be able to carry out a direct titration. So what is done here in this case is indirect titration. Okay, so the reason for indirect titration in this case is the analyte is insoluble in water, which is used as a solvent. So calcium carbonate, being an insoluble base, it is dissolved in a strong acid such as hydrochloric acid, okay, and which is going to form soluble calcium chloride. So base is now going to react with the acid, that is hydrochloric acid, and give you calcium chloride, which is soluble in water. Okay, so that's the reaction of calcium carbonate and HCl. So what is done here in this case is excess amount of hydrochloric acid is added to the analyte, which is calcium carbonate, and then the excess hydrochloric acid, okay, which is not reacted with calcium carbonate, is back titrated using a suitable standard solution of base. Okay, So here calcium carbonate is going to react with 2 moles of hydrochloric acid, giving you calcium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Okay, and then the excess amount of HCl which is left after reacting with calcium carbonate, that is titrated against a standard solution of NaOH. So if you actually see, the titration is between strong acid and strong base. Okay, here we can use again an acid base indicator would be used, which can be phenol red. Okay, so if you have to write down the stoichiometric ratio, calcium carbonate is reacting with 2 hydrochloric acid. Okay, and if you check the titration, that is the excess hydrochloric acid is back titrated with NaOH. Now the stoichiometric ratio is 1:1. Okay, so when we have to correlate the stoichiometric ratio of the analyte, the reagent with what it is reacting and the titrant, we can write down 1 calcium carbonate is going to react with 2 hydrochloric acid. That is in turn going to react with 2 of sodium hydroxide. Okay, and the molecular weight of calcium carbonate is 100.09 gram per mole, which again would be required for the factor calculation. Okay, so this is a titration where which is an example of indirect titration, and this kind of approach is known as back titration, where the analyte is reacted with excess of reagent and then the excess reagent is back titrated using a standard solution. Okay, talking a bit about the procedure, measure the mass of chalk, that is calcium carbonate, is weighed out, okay, and then dissolved completely in excess of hydrochloric acid. So once it is completely dissolved, that resultant solution is made or it's diluted to a particular volume in a volumetric flask. Okay, say it is made up to 250 ml with distilled water in a volumetric flask, and then you pip it out a certain amount of this solution and carry out the titration. What is the titration all about? It is you're going to take that solution and titrate it against standard solution of NaOH, which is going to determine the concentration of excess hydrochloric acid in the flask, which is remaining after the reaction with calcium carbonate. Okay, now how do you find out what is the amount of hydrochloric acid or volume of hydrochloric acid which has reacted with calcium carbonate? For that, you require to carry out what is known as blank determination, where you omit the analyte, which is calcium carbonate. Okay, so when you carry out blank determination, okay, which does not have the same titration, same procedure, but now without the analyte, that is calcium carbonate. So you're going to get the total amount of acid which was taken for the initially was taken. Okay, so you get to know total amount of acid what was added, and from the back determination or back titration you get to know the excess amount of hydrochloric acid. So now the difference would give you the volume of or the amount of hydrochloric acid which has reacted with calcium carbonate, and hence from that amount we can do the calculation and hence find out what is the percentage of calcium carbonate in the given chalk sample. So that is about the principle behind assay of chalk, okay, or calcium carbonate. Coming to the factor calculation, okay, for that we require to know the reaction, and from the reaction we need to know what is the stoichiometric ratio. And this we have already seen that 1 calcium carbonate would be reacting with 2 hydrochloric acid, and if you see the reaction between hydrochloric acid and NaOH, it is 1:1. So 2 hydrochloride would be now reacting with 2 of NaOH. Okay, remember here in this case sodium hydroxide is the titrant, so calcium carbonate is the analyte. Okay, So again, what we do, we write down the titrant on the left hand side with equivalent to the number of moles of analyte here. So in this case, we can take 2 NaOH equivalent to 1 calcium carbonate. Okay. Proceed in the similar fashion what we saw in nicotinic acid assay. Okay. Here in this case, instead of writing 1000 ml of 1 molar NaOH, I would be writing 2 into 1000 because it is 2 moles which is reacting with 1 mole of the analyte. Okay, so 2 into 1000 ml 1 molar NaOH would be equivalent to molecular weight of calcium carbonate. Remove this 2 by dividing the right hand side with 2. So you get 1000 ml of 1 molar NaOH equal to 50.045 gram of calcium carbonate. Finally, the factor, that is what would 1 ml of 1 molar NaOH correspond to. Okay, that find out that is nothing but 0.050045 gram of calcium carbonate. Okay, now remember here, for the further calculation, we are not going to take directly the burette reading, which is back titration, which is going to give you volume of hydrochloric acid which is remaining after the reaction with calcium carbonate. So what would be the actual volume of HCl that has reacted with calcium carbonate? That is the blank reading minus the back reading. Okay, so do remember, in indirect titration we will have to find out the difference between the reading, that is blank determination minus back determination. Okay, so whatever difference you get, that has to be incorporated in the factor and then you do the calculation and finally find out what is the percentage of calcium carbonate in the given chalk sample. So that's all about assay of nicotinic acid and assay of chalk. Okay, hope you have understood. Thank you.